right, don't blame Akofa, blame me. I was the one who didn't come early, so she had to play the Kenny Rogers song, and so I take all the blame. Welcome to the masterclass. My name is Daryl Kwawu. You heard that. It's time to do a few lessons on personal branding, shaping your identity in a digital age. I'm of course in for Yabanafo. He'll be with you next week. Don't miss him already. And in studio with me to do the discussions, Dr. Ibn Kailan Abdul-Hamid. He is the head of marketing department, University of Professional Studies. Back from the Eid celebrations, I guess. How did that go?
It went well. Just the normal appeal to government to give us 2 holidays rather than 1 holiday. Yes,
I love holidays. So I don't mind.
Well, our appeal is has religious significance. Because we still don't use the Gregorian calendar in our selection of days to have our Eid. So we need to check the moon. We need to be sure the moon has actually been sighted.
As of Monday, the previous week, the moon hadn't been sighted.
Yes, please.
Right?
So on Tuesday, the moon wasn't sighted. So Wednesday, I think it was sighted on Tuesday evening. So Wednesday became Salah. But by then, government had already declared
Thursday as a holiday. Well, Dr. Ibn Kailan Abdul-Hamid is an accomplished professional with a rich background in marketing and academia, currently serving as the Administrative Secretary of UTAG National. He also holds the esteemed position of Head of a Marketing Department at the University of Professional Studies, Accra. That's a big position. With a PhD in marketing and a postgraduate diploma in marketing from the Chartered Institute of Marketing UK, Dr. Abdul-Hamid brings a wealth of expertise to his roles. He previously served as immediate past UTAG UPSA secretary and is presently a lecturer at the Department of Marketing at the UPSA. And so I think that you have a very, very I don't know the word to describe you, but a very knowledgeable person.
I'm a student of marketing.
Very knowledgeable person when it comes
marketing.
to marketing and branding issues. And so we're happy to have you. You've been on for the past 2 weeks. And just for those who missed some of the classes, I know I'm part of those people who missed. I tried to catch up. I learned something from last week. You said a product brings value, but a brand brings even more value. Yeah.
Added value.
Added value. I'm a good student, am I not?
You did well.
So, yes. So just a quick recap of what we've been learning in the past 2 weeks, and then we'll delve into today's topic.
So last week we began the conversation about the need to have brands. So the title was about crafting brand identity, strategies for building a strong business or product brand. So in fact, last week's conversation influenced today's conversation. Based on the conversations, people called in to get clarity, others sent messages. So we decided today to talk about personal branding. Today wouldn't have been on personal branding, but based on how the conversation went, you remember last week we looked at business branding, we looked at product branding. So one of the facets of branding is personal branding.
Okay, yes, so we are going to dig into that. Just to remind you that you can send questions, whatever, on WhatsApp, 0551111 997 0551111 in the course of the program, we may open the phone lines just in case you have any questions. And so we start with what personal branding is.
Absolutely. So I would want to flow easily like we usually do. So for us today, let's look at what personal branding is. It's actually not different from what we learned last week, but I would want us to look at it from the perspective that it is a practice where people in marketing themselves and their careers as brand work at, first of all, creating unique identities. So, for example, over the last 2 weeks, I've been with Yao.
Okay.
Today, I'm with Daryl. What would make Daryl different from Yao? Okay, that is a personal brand. So listening to Daryl on air and listening to Yao on air on the same program, what distinguishes the two of you is personal branding. We need to also understand that self-help management helps in terms of building very solid brands for yourself. And also, to go specifically to your question on what is personal branding, it's an ongoing process for those who want to write. It's an ongoing process of establishing a prescribed image or impression in the minds of others about an individual, a group, or an organization. So that is branding generally, but you can look at it at an individual as personal branding. It involves the applications of one's name to various products. So sometimes you can leverage your identity to some product for those in services industry. So personal branding, to some extent, is equal to knowing yourself.
Knowing yourself.
Absolutely.
Why is that important?
Right. So you wouldn't be a good personal brand if you don't know yourself. Remember, we said last week, for those who followed, that branding was about how to know how different you are with others. Okay, so when you know yourself, you know, these are my weaknesses, these are my strengths. And with the knowledge of your weaknesses and that of your strengths, you would be able to leverage on your strengths to distinguish between yourself and others. You would also be mindful now of your what? Weaknesses, and ensure that it does not dent your image.
All right. So it's not just about outward maybe appearance.
Yes.
Because usually when we talk about branding, people are talking about outward appearance.
Yes.
But it's also about knowing yourself.
Absolutely. Inward.
All
Absolutely.
right. I'm learning something new today. So why is it important to build a personal?
Yeah. So in personal branding, I would say that it's a combination of personal attributes, like we said, inward, values, some strengths I have mentioned earlier, as well as passion. So yes, there are a number of workers at Joy. Some decide to talk on sports. Akofa decides to play her music, and others are presenters. So yes, you have to look at your passion sometimes to be able to have a good brand. As we go on, I will make a point about the fact that in this generation where we have a lot of freelancing or people looking for gigs, then you realize that building your personal brand around your passion helps a lot. So you need to identify qualities and characteristics within you. Okay, that's where your passion comes in, and communicate crystal clear, consistent messages across your target audience, be it online or offline, so that people will begin to associate you to certain characteristics. So like I said, I am a student of marketing. So I don't expect anyone to associate with me with any other thing apart from marketing. Absolutely. So yes, you need to begin to build personal brand, because that is the way we are going. There's a lot of competition out there, and we need to begin to look at where my passions are, what should I be known by, how will I differentiate myself in the crowd, and do this. Indeed, if you follow a lot of the young people today, they actually understand the need to personal brands, but they may not understand how to develop good personal brands today. So, for example, you go to university campuses and you see how people appear, our dressing, as you mentioned, okay? If you check them carefully, some people are very careful how they appear. They are consistent with it every day. But they don't know that that is one aspect of personal branding. That's just one aspect. So our conversation today will encourage them to move it from the appearance to have a very good personal brand in terms of areas where they have passion, areas where they have strengths. In fact, some of them don't need themselves. And so at the end of the day, if you want to build a personal brand, please try as much as possible to know who you are. There are a number of advantages to why we are encouraging everyone to build a personal brand.
Well, before you come to that,
yes, please.
On building the personal brand,
yes, please.
So there's an aspect that talks about the traditional 15 words or less contest challenge in describing yourself.
Yes.
I thought it was interesting, so I want to tell my listeners, if anybody could send us 15 words or less describing yourself, maybe then Doc can assess it and see if you're getting there when it comes to marketing yourself and building a brand. And so if you are listening, if you can describe yourself in 15 words or less, send us a message. Doc is going to assess it and see if you're doing well at marketing yourself. The WhatsApp line 055 11 11 997 055 11 11 997. So
Thanks so much. So yes, so there are a number of advantages associated with possessing a personal brand that is a very strong or unique personal brand. Indeed, your confidence will continue to soar because you are known for this, and everybody will respect you for that. And you also have a good feeling all the time when that is being discussed. So, for example, a number of people will shy away from sports, and I'm one of them because you don't have much to say when it comes to sports.
That makes two of us.
So that is it. So when they are discussing sports, we will avoid the conversation.
Certainly will.
Absolutely. So when you begin to build your confidence in areas where you have passion, you realize that when the conversation starts, you actually want to be part of it. So personal branding can build your confidence. It also builds your credibility. So you mentioned some credentials that, by the grace of God, I've been able to attain. Those credentials you mentioned adds credibility to what I'm saying.
Yeah.
As a professional in the field.
Yeah.
So yes, if I build myself, so we join professional associations. So I say I'm a member of Chartered Institute of Marketing Ghana. Okay, that is going to enhance my credibility. So yes, we build personal brands around ourselves to enhance our credibility. Indeed, it also helps us to connect with a target audience. So yes, Masterclass has been in existence for some time. Different professionals or scholars have passed through. I am associated with what? Marketing. So at the end of the day, anybody who wants any idea on marketing or branding, the person might look through our recordings on this. Previously, those who came through would be in a different area. So yes, in connecting with target audience, when you have a very solid personal brand, it attracts the people you are looking for to you, because they know that if we need information or we need guidelines on this, this is the right person to talk to. It also helps to that is the general way we expect personal brands to go. It helps to distinguish you from the competition. Earlier, I noted that Joy is so big, several employees, but because those of you who know that you are a personal brand, when it comes to something, they will look for this particular person because that person has distinguished himself among every other employee. Okay, so yes, in terms of advantages of personal branding, it goes on and on. Finally, I would want to talk about the fact that it helps you to focus your energy. So now, remember we said personal branding can be equated to knowing yourself. So if you build it around who you are, you then will focus on areas that will help enhance and improve your work. So focus your energy. Then we look at some mistakes to avoid in personal branding. It's important that we look at how to avoid being fake.
That's an interesting one.
How to avoid being fake. I'm saying this because the title said in the digital age. Now, apart from offline, a lot of people tell lies online.
That's true.
So if you aspire to build a very good personal brand, avoid being fake. Be who you are, whether you are online or offline.
But it appears a lot of people are
fake. No, for me, I don't look at it from the pressure. I look at it from being fake because, for example, people go to the malls and take photos. People go to hotels, take photos. People go to washrooms and take photos. These are all attempts to being fake. So if you are building a personal brand, I am cautioning that let's avoid being fake. Remember that we talked about personal branding brings about credibility. Okay. So if you are a fake person, or you become a fake brand, then someone would connect with you thinking you could be of assistance because the brand communicated with the person that this is who you are, but you are a fake person.
It makes you wonder what's the point anyway if the person is eventually going to find out that
you can't do what the person wants you to do. So I would want to say that let's avoid being fake. It's also important that we avoid going solo. It is important that we talk about team play. If you are building a personal brand, it is not just you. Remember that a brand represents the perceptions people have about you.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are building a personal brand, it's not just you doing it alone. Some other people must help and guide in what you are doing. So today I am here talking with you to audiences across the world because, okay, my father in this business, among others, helped in shaping who I am. I cannot do it alone. Some other people must invest, guide you in terms of what to do. So please, in building a personal brand, avoid going solo. You need other people to help you achieve your goal. Again, being selfish. Related to the point of going solo. If you are selfish, then you would always go solo. Because people will get to know that you are what? Selfish. And when they get to know you are selfish, they will withdraw. And when they withdraw, you see that you'll be walking alone. So you must ensure that you reduce selfishness in your dealing with people. Again, I think in the music industry, this is very common where people look for quantity rather than quality. So in building personal brand, you need to ensure that you work on your quality and not your quantity. Impact is important. If it is one time, you've made your point and you move on. Rather than several times, there is no impact. So do not shout for quantity. Similar to that is seeking fame and glory. The thing hasn't started yet and you're already making so much noise. Indeed, you are not yet baked. So you're half baked. You need to be patient. Glory, it will come with time. You would surely get it. Then also, from a services marketing standpoint, we understand that human beings, there is some level of inconsistencies. Okay, so just as you come to work today, your level of performance will be different from yesterday, will be different from tomorrow, which in trying to help, we come with automation, or we put in computers. That is why we have ATMs sometimes to ensure that the service is what? Consistent. It's a normal phenomenon in services marketing. But that notwithstanding, the encouragement is that when you are building a brand, avoid being wishy-washy. Today this, tomorrow that. So some level of consistency, as we talked about product and business branding, you need to be deliberate about this, so that what you stand for is what people will see all the time about you. Then, as we now move straight into technology developments, what is really happening around us, what we need to be careful about. Yes, today we all talk about AI.
Artificial intelligence.
We talk about machine learning. Yeah, so the point I'm making today is that these trends have some predictions for personal branding in the next decade. So what can you do as a personal brand to ensure that you deploy We can't say we are not going to use. We have to use AI. We have to use machine learning. Remember, I told you that as human beings, already in services marketing, your level of consistency, it varies. So you can use AI and machine learning to provide some consistency in what you are doing. Again, for you being online, either on YouTube, on Facebook, or on X, among others, you can use AI and machine learning to help you to be the same consistently across board. There are a number of brands that, with the power of social media, people are now beginning to talk about them. If not, no one would have remembered about them for some time. But because of their activities on Facebook or on X, a lot of people are talking about them, or they are receiving some mileage. Also, we need to focus on authenticity and transparency. This is very important because it's social media, because it's a digital platform. You think you can misbehave. It doesn't forget. Strive to be very authentic. Strive to be transparent in all that you put online, because online doesn't forget. I'm sure most of us have experienced Facebook reminding you on a daily basis what you said 10 years ago or 5 years ago. So online doesn't forget. In fact, this particular year's election is an interesting year. We've seen people going back to what people tweeted or what people said some time ago. So yes, you need to focus on being authentic. You need to focus on being transparent. If you are transparent, you can say anything you want to say, and you know that time will remain the same. There's nothing that, like, in the future, people will not come back to you and say, oh, I didn't know. No, you were not being authentic and you are not being transparent. Finally, on this is also ethics, social responsibility, or what we know in Ghana, CSR. It's also come up very big. What can you do to ensure that you will be seen as a responsible person? So we've seen a number of, I think in Ghana, we know celebrities rather than personal brands. We've seen a number of celebrities now trying to visit homes or visit other places to provide some support. So we encourage that, looking at what is happening in the next few years, when you engage in being ethical or engage in social responsibility, it can help you build a very good brand. And I end the session by providing some 10 steps that would help to build a personal brand in this digital age. Okay. And the first one I would say is to define your brand identity. So it goes back to, who are you? What do you stand for? You might decide to do a basic, we call it SWOT. So a lot of people know SWOT in marketing. So your strengths, your weaknesses, are there some opportunities? Are there some threats? So you do that to help you know your identity. Now, your identity, like we learned last week, is beyond your name. It's beyond the color and the logo you are going to use. Remember, you mentioned the outward or things we can easily see. Your brand is beyond this. Okay, you can look at your values. What do you stand for? What do you want to be known by? I think there's a famous Ghanaian saying that good name is better than
riches.
So that good name, what good name do you want to leave as a legacy? So yes, we can look at it in the light of defining your brand identity. Then your target audience is very important. Joy FM Multimedia respect the fact that in Ghana, not everybody will listen to you. That is why you had Joy FM and you came up with sister stations. It means that you were clear from the word go that it is possible that not everybody will listen to Joy FM, and so you had all of this. So in personal branding, do not think that everybody will be attracted to you, will like you, would want to deal with you. No way. So be guided with the fact that you need to identify your target audience. Which people do you want to relate with? Remember, when you are clear on those people, you know where they are, then you now look at how to reach them. Then create a professional online presence. A lot of us, how do you create a professional online presence when you decide to have a name that is not your name? We have funny names such on online.
Yeah, well, I know that people like to have like a personal account and a professional account. Is that allowed?
Okay, so that conversation, we'll leave it for those who are much in internet and looking at social media knowledge. But from a brand point of view, I will encourage you to have a professional online presence, especially when your brand.
Mm-hmm.
So when I say professional, now the conversation will be okay. We know Shatawale. His name is Charles Niama something, right?
Is it Tego?
Yes,
What's
Niama.
it?
Yes. So
Is Niama Charles Niama?
yes. So
Okay.
so now,
Abeko
so the
wants to help
question,
you.
yes. So the question then is, should he be Charles Niama online, or he should be Shatawale?
I mean, for the kind of thing he does, I think.
So he should be Shatawale.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I am just saying this not to make it look as if I'm saying we should be professional as it is. Based on what you are doing, you can be a different person online. Okay, and that different person, if you know the people you are reaching out to, be professional in that.
Okay.
I hope we get it. I'm not saying if you are this, you cannot be this. No. I'm saying that the brand you have built online must be a professional online presence. Whatever you are doing on that page, you should be serious with it.
Mm-hmm.
You should not.
People like to have a mix of fun.
No. Let's have if it's a serious page you've created, let it be serious.
Okay, we are going to take a short break. When we come back, I'm going to ask you about some of the risks of personal branding in the digital age. Stuff to do with data breaches, security, and all of that, because that's of interest to me. But we want to take a short break. I see that quite a number of you are sending messages about the exercise I asked about. Is it in less than 15 words, describe who you are, so that Doc will assess whether you're doing good at marketing yourself or not. And so if you're listening and you have that description, you can send it through 05511119997. We are going to open the phone lines, try to pick a couple of calls if you can. After we come back from this short break, don't go anywhere.
Your favorite on-air business development program, Joy Business Masterclass, is in session, and you can interact with us on Facebook via the Joy 99.7 FM or Joy Business pages. If you tweet, the handle is at Joy 997 FM or at Joy Business GH. Don't forget to hashtag JB Masterclass. You can also call us on 0302 216541 or send your questions and contributions through to the WhatsApp number 0551 111997, and our facilitators will address your concerns. Attention everyone, class is in progress.
Welcome back to the master class. My name is Daryl Kwawu, in for Yao Banafo, who is doing the listening right now. I hope you're doing good, Yao. We can't wait to have you back next week. And so we have been dealing with the topic of rebranding, reshaping your identity in a digital age. It's been an interesting conversation so far. I'm having a good time and trying to accept some of the things, such as distinguishing between my personal account and my professional account. Doc Ibn Kailan Abdul-Hamid is saying, just try to keep a professional account. Well, I'll try and do that. He is the head of marketing department at the University of Professional Studies. He's been with us for the past 3 weeks as we delve into the issues of branding and marketing. I hope it's been insightful so far. I just wanted to say that the text lines are open, 05511119997, for all of you who have questions and those of you responding to our exercise for today. I remember those days in class when they give us exercises to do. And we're going to try to open the phone lines to, if we can, 0302216541. If you have any questions, I don't know whether to, let's answer this question, then we can maybe tackle the messages. And so I was asking before we went on the break about risks when we're trying to, build a personal brand in this digital age. We have issues to do with data breaches. We have issues to do with security. How do you handle all of that?
Right. So I think last week that concern came up, and we now have a data protection commission,
Mm-hmm.
and I think there are laws that guide what they are able to do. Okay. So yes, first of all, I will encourage everyone to familiarize himself with um, the legislation on data protection. Now back to the substantive question you posed.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So in terms of online, um, yesterday I had a PhD student discussed ethics and online, and then he was using two ethical theories, teleological issues and on deontological issues. Now, one of it is what you are expressing. You are expressing a fear about what happens online. Maybe someone can take my information and all that.
Right.
Right. So that is deontological, ethical fear. You're looking at it and you think that, oh, when you get onto this page, people will take you, clone, and other things people could do. But now let's look at the benefits. So if you use the page, is it beneficiary to you? If that page is beneficiary to you, so for example, we are all on Facebook, or majority of us are on Facebook. But what I've observed is that many of the young girls are not on Facebook.
Probably on what? Snapchat? TikTok?
Absolutely. And when you engage them, there's a reason why they are not on Facebook. They are not on Facebook because some of the things they do on Instagram and TikTok and the rest, they can't do it on Facebook because Facebook is a community where possible there are mothers, uncles, and people are out there.
And certainly not on LinkedIn.
I hope you're following the conversation. So yes, for me, I think that yes, we should be worried about what we put online, but sometimes we need to look at the benefits to us.
Okay, Doc, I want us to tackle some of the messages coming through. So this one says, the first contact with a client is one's appearance. Is Doc saying that dressing is not part of personal branding? That's Theophilus Makwa. I don't think you said that.
I didn't say that.
Okay, but so explain
it. To help him out, yes, in branding, packaging is very important. So your dressing or your outfit is that important, yes. So I'm not saying that. I'm only saying that branding is beyond it. So let's not just consider dressing to be branding. Branding is beyond it.
Yeah,
right.
So a combination of the two, inward and outward.
Absolutely.
Great. So this Eben is trying our challenge for today. He says, my name is Eben Eliezu. I'm an IT support specialist and a professional teacher at Core Plus and GES respectively. What's your assessment?
Okay, so yeah, so I like the fact that he is able to define himself an IT support specialist.
Mm-hmm.
It means that he knows or he has ideas in IT, and he's also a teacher possibly in IT-related areas. So that name he has even given, IT support specialist, is a brand. So I like the fact that he's described himself well.
All right, so our less than 15 words challenge. Please, my name is Gabriel Janka, also known as Gabi, a civic educator at the National Convention for Civic Education. I'm a young, energetic, and active role model who cherishes social, interactive civic engagements with audience to enable them to understand the contents of the 1992 Constitution. I always try to relate with my audience by creating social platforms online. That's more than 15 words.
I'm sure where he's working as influencer, it's good. I used to also be a good associate of NCC when I was in senior high school. I was a member of the civic club. But one important thing I want him to add to his brand, he talks about a civic educator.
Mm-hmm.
He needs to look at a more current description of what he's doing, rather than just limiting himself to a civic educator. He needs to look at it, and that could give him more international recognitions with regards to some of the things happening across the world. So a civic educator is not that enough.
All right. Let's see if we can do another one. This one, Abeku, which one are we doing?
Yes, this
one.
Hey, 15.
Okay, this is certainly more
than 15 words to describe. Okay, yeah. So I think he's only adding some of the things we could talk about. Yes, someone can be described as being confident, kind, authentic, and then ambitious, passionate. Please, let's look at the last comment. So he's only describing to help listeners, okay, feel free to adjust.
Okay,
so, yes,
okay, now I understand, but
yes.
just that it doesn't have a name to it. So somebody just giving us some adjectives,
It
if
says
you
it's
like.
Dallas.
Dallas, okay,
Yes.
to describe yourself.
So we appreciate his contribution. Yes.
Thank you, Dallas. All right, okay. So keep them coming. 0302216541. We can pick a phone call or two if you have any questions on
So
personal
let me
branding.
quickly finish. I
Okay.
started the 10
Yeah.
ways, and we got to create a professional online presence, and we went for the break. So to end it, we say craft a compelling content.
Craft a compelling content.
Yes. So you are dealing with online, your Facebook, your WhatsApp platforms. Let it be consistent. What you are talking all the time about should be directed at something. People should know who you are online. Be consistent and authentic.
Okay. We want to pick a phone call. Somebody on the line. Good afternoon to you. Welcome to the masterclass.
Oh, yeah. Hello. Good afternoon.
Your name, where you're calling from?
My name is Nana, calling from Chama.
Okay. Now, do you want to try a less than 15-word challenge before you ask your question?
Would like to go straight to my question, please.
Sorry, I didn't want to put you on the spot. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. When Doug was talking, he said something concerning this branding. He said that when you're branding yourself, make sure you don't go solo, either being personal or with an organization. I have had quite some number of experiences. So this time around, I decided to go solo. Now, on 3 occasions, I decided to build a business brand with people, and it all failed. So this time around, I just decided to do sole proprietorship, and it's working fine. What is the problem? Is there a problem going sole proprietorship? And if I'm not to go solo, how do I go about it?
Okay, thank you for your question.
All right, so thank you so much. You will agree with me that even your sole proprietorship business, you have got a number of stakeholders pushing and assisting. So you are not going solo. When we talk about going solo, does not mean you set up a personal business. That's not what I meant. I only meant that in doing what you intend to do, that is building your personal brand, remember that there are people, and these people, for example, they have perceptions about who you are.
Mm-hmm.
They can help you shape and become a better person. And so you need them. You can't do it alone. So again, in your business, which you asked specifically, in your business, you agree that you have some partners. Either they are supplying you things or they are helping you do delivery. So in building a brand, these people are still helping you. I am not talking about you going into a partnership to set up a business. I hope it's clear.
Yeah, I hope it's clear. Wow, boy, time is running out. I need for you to conclude on the point you're going to make.
So the last few things I want to say is that you engage your audience. Try to engage your audience. Optimize your online profile. Network both online and offline. Please seek feedback. Monitor your online reputation.
Okay, let's try and pick one more message. A bit cool. This one from David Gibbs. What does it say? A digital media student of Asanska University College of Design and Technology, UB. What would you do when you've already damaged your brand? That's a good question.
Okay, so yes. In marketing, we call something rebranding. Rebranding. So assume you have a brand, and the brand, as he said, is damaged beyond redemption or recognition, or you rebirth. So yes, you can move away from this name to our next new name, new representation. In fact, in business, you can move away from even what you are known for to a different line of business. So yes, you rebrand. The concept is rebrand.
That's a whole class on its own, but just briefly, how do you rebrand?
Okay, so the concept of adding to brand, and then we have rebranding. It means that you're going through the branding process as I outlined last week. You go through a process of creating a unique identity or a differentiator for your product. So let's assume that you, which brand shall I use? No, I won't use a brand that is known. So let's say that you are a brand that exists in Ghana, and for one or two reasons your brand has been damaged, and you are into, let's say, producing some services. You can change your name, change your logo, change the location, change the target audience you are dealing with. Okay, change a number of things, and then you have the opportunity to start afresh again. I hope his question is addressed.
Yeah, it's addressed, and thank you so much, David Gibbs, for that question. Speak of rebrand. Well, my brother is listening from the US. He sent this message because we talked about sports.
Yes.
So he says, "Thought you supported Chelsea, Kotoko, and Black Stars." No. We've rebranded. I no longer support Chelsea. It's a work team to support. Kotoko, never.
Yeah.
I'm a Hasselhoff fan.
Okay.
Black Stars, no way.
No way.
I cherish my life. I can't stand heartaches.
Yes, please. So whilst we end, personal branding is actually at the heart of my father in this trade. So I just want to say thank you to him, Professor Robert Ebohinson. He's the Pro Vice Chancellor for Ghana Communication Technology University. For those who have followed us over the years, he's a champion with personal branding.
Okay.
So there are a number of videos he's actually also made. So beyond this conversation, those who want to follow it up, you can look at what he discussed on YouTube on personal branding.
Okay.
And thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I think it's been insightful. We continue next week. Yes.
Yes,
Do we have any idea what we are talking about next week?
We'll release it by weekend.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Ibn Kailan Abdul-Hamid, Head of Marketing Department at the University of Professional Studies, Accra. Thank you so much. We hopefully we'll have Banafo back. I know you guys missed him a lot, but he'll be back in the seat as we continue with this series on the masterclass. My name is Daryl Kwawu. Thank you to Beku Sankofi, to Sarah Josu, aka Saminiwa, Queen of Entertainment. I want to say some more, but I'll just restrict it here. And of course, thank you, Akofa, for giving me for allowing you to play Kenny Rogers and then having to. Oliver, can I say this in French? Thank you, Oliver, for support. I mean, we've been streaming on Facebook and on YouTube as well, and so thank you so much, Oliver, for all the support. The dial is 99.7 FM Joy. Ignition continues with the Kofa. Don't go anywhere. I'm sure she's going to start with the Kenny Rogers song, so don't go anywhere. Stay tuned.